All right, let's go. It's time for the great show in the history of shows. BJJ. That's right, I'm your host. Don't laugh. And welcome you inside the BJJ. We got a great show lined up for you. Let me kill that. Come on now. All right, die, baby, die. Great show lined up for you on Inside BJJ. We're going to be looking at a handful of things today, actually. Some fun stuff happened that, I really enjoyed, which is my mother-in-law came out to visit, and I love my mother-in-law. Some people, they have problems with my mother-in-law. I have zero problems with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is an awesome lady, and super stoked she came out. But look, and I think I've alluded to this in the past. When my mother-in-law comes out, like, she comes out with contraband. When I say contraband, I'm talking about tamales. I'm talking about pork tamales. I'm talking about chicken tamales. I'm talking about rajas tamales. I'm talking about potato tamales. I'm talking about tamales stuffed with gold. Like, anything you can put it in a tamale, she can do. Awesome stuff, man. So I go to pick her up. My wife hits me up and she goes, "Hey, you got to pick my mom up from the airport on Saturday night." And my son Nate and I were down in Huntsville at the Jiu-Jitsu Huntsville Open or Huntsville tournament. I can't remember if it was an open or a tournament, but Jiu-Jitsu, that group is running that. A great group of folks too. And I got to meet Jiu-Jitsu in the flesh, so that was pretty rad. I've seen him a lot online, known about him for quite a while, but never really crossed paths. So got a chance to chat with him for 20 minutes or so. So we do the tournament. Nate does great, by the way. Going up against Brandon McCaffrey's student, who I was on a kick stream with a couple weeks ago, named Ivan. Ivan is a dude who moved out here from Taiwan, from Taiwan to Decatur. That, I don't know if that is a tragedy or a masterpiece, but one or the other, or a comedy, I should say. Is this a tragedy or a comedy? But I moved out, and sure enough, he got slotted up to compete against my son Nate. Nate did great. He won the first 2 out of 3. Good matchups. We had a nice day. And then we headed back because, look, I got to get my mother-in-law at the airport. We jammed back into Nashville. I do a few little things. Now, my wife is flying out also from a different location for some work training that she was doing. So I'm picking up mother-in-law at like 8:20, and then I'm going to hang out at the airport, basically. I'm just going to show up and hang out, and then grab my wife at 9, take everybody back home at once. So my wife, she hits me up, and she's like, "Hey, when you get to the airport, like, you need to park and go in and help my mom with the bags. Like, you're probably going to have to help her get them off of the baggage carousel." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, right? Totally good." So jam down there and go pick up mom, and wouldn't you know it, mom has a suitcase that is literally like 67 pounds. This is how much the suitcase weighed. 67 pounds. Can you believe this? 67. All right. And when I picked that thing up, I almost pulled my shoulder out of socket. It was an oversized suitcase with layers and layers and layers of that dryer, like that I don't know what's called, so stupid, where you it's not frozen. They weren't frozen. They were fresh, but they were like had the freeze dry, like the vacuum seal. There you go. Jesus, vacuum seal. And it's like, dude, this looks like drugs, 100%. Going through the radar machine at the airport with that for sure has to trigger it. She made it in, unpacked the tamales, been eating like a king for the last few days. Yesterday, she made the enchiladas with the green sauce, verde enchiladas with the tomatillos, and she roasts them on the comal and gets them nice and textured before they get blended to make the sauce. We used some Costco rotisserie chicken this time. We pulled the chicken from a couple rotisseries, and then the second person has to go back through the pulled chicken bowl and get rid of the slime and the funky pieces or whatever. Because Costco chickens are like, dude, they're on all of the they're on all the TRT. They're on all of the SARMs, all of the peptides. They're on, BP 500. They're on all of it, man. So we had to peel that off. Made the food, had some friends over. Amazing stuff. Today she made chili rellenos. I'm just eating I'm eating like a Latin king right now, and it's been a super super great time. So, mad props to me on that. I was super stoked for that. She makes great food. So, okay, outside of that, some big fights happened this weekend. We had the Netflix fights, and it's like I want other organizations to put shows on. I do, and I enjoy a spectacle to a point. Like I don't mind seeing something that is kind of out there. I don't mind, watching some kind of crazy fantasy match or some kind of weird setup. But I gotta say this, man. Rousey, Carano, for me, didn't really move the needle too much. Like just a little bit. It just moved it like a little bit, but not a ton. And I'll tell you why. One is like this is a rematch that should have happened 10 years ago. Honestly, like I would have liked to see Rousey and Carano get after it when they were closer to their prime. Now, when they announced it, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. And then it kind of snuck up on us, right? It's like, oh, crap, that's this week. But there were some other pretty good names on the card. We had Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry announced, and then Francis Ngannou, took on Lynn's. I can't remember Lynn's first name. I don't know if it was Jeremy or Steven or something like that, right? No disrespect, man. But, so those are kind of the three main fights that I really wanted to see. I was a little bit interested in the Junior Dos Santos fight, but mostly I wanted to see Rousey, Carano, Diaz, Perry. Those were the two matchups that I wanted to see. And I felt like, while I enjoyed Diaz, Perry, I don't, it's like, man, I'm glad Nick got paid. Like, I'm a Stockton boy. I love it when the Stockton boys win. I love it when they make money. I'm super stoked for that. But he just looks like he doesn't want to fight. I don't blame him. I would have stopped wanting to fight 10 fights ago if I was him. Like, as soon as I got any decent amount of money in the bank, I'd be like, I'm out of the fight game. I'm done. But I kind of got that kind of vibe. Doesn't want to continue fighting all the time. And listen, I don't blame him. I'm not talking smack on him. I'm not judging him. He's 41 years old. Like, how long? This is the tragedy of MMA. Is that when you're up and coming, everybody loves you. Everybody's on the bandwagon. And then, you might have a little slip. People are like, okay, he'll be back. But, man, you slip up a couple times, you get a little older and you fight, and what do people say? Oh, he's washed. He's washed. He's no good. It's like, dude, this guy's 41 years old. This guy would whoop your 25-year-old ass right now. You were saying that to his face. He would put an end to you super quick. But you can't take a guy who's 41, pit him up against somebody who's 10 years younger than him, and expect him to have the kind of performance that we've seen him do, say, 18 years ago, 15 years ago. It doesn't happen. And part of my kind of problem with the way these Netflix fights were kind of put out there is I get the name recognition because people want to see it. The same reason we wanted to see Mike Tyson fight again, even though we knew, we're like, I don't know, man, Tyson's over 50, like what? But you're still hoping somewhere in there that person will return to form. It's some part of that fight, and you'll get to kind of relive that nostalgic gladiator that this fighter, has in their history and in their accomplishments and their experience. But it rarely happens, man. It rarely happens. You see a little flash, a little bit that looks interesting, a little bit that looks cool, and then after that, it's like, dude, you're just kind of wishing that they would do better the entire fight, and you're almost like, And in the beginning, I do this with all the Diaz brothers fights. I'm totally pulling for them, like they still got a chance, they still got a chance, they still got a chance, and then it's like you kind of get to the point where you're like, he better do something, he better do something, he better do something, he better do something, and then it's you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. You can't let. And then it's. I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna win. And Nate suffered a bad cut in that fight. And Rousey Carano was just a little bit. It was a major letdown in terms of the actual fight itself. Like that fight looks like they put the fight into an AI algorithm and said like, show us what a fight between Rousey and Carano would look like in 2026. And then that's what it came up with. It gave you like 6 different videos you could pick from, and that was like the first one. They were like, yeah, we'll go with that. That's how that fight kind of played out. Now, I've said that I don't know if Ronda's stock goes down because we really didn't see much. We saw a double leg. We saw, a little bit of a pass and a mount, and then an armbar. That's all stuff we've seen out of Rousey before. We didn't see her take a punch. We didn't really see her throw a punch. Not from her feet. Like, I looked away for a half of a second. When I looked back, it was Rousey flying through the air trying to tackle Carano. I don't think people want to see Carano fight again. I don't think Carano should fight again. I think Carano should take that money and run. That's my advice on that. But it's hard to hold a fighter down. Be interesting to see if Rousey has another fight. The question would be, like, who would she fight? Like, would Holly Holm fight her again? Would she have a Holly Holm rematch? That might be something people would want to see, to be honest. That might be something that would be worth watching. But, I don't know. But what I want to do today is check out just a few of the highlights and just call a few things out. And then after that, we're going to look at some Grand Sumo. Look, Grand Sumo is going on right now. All right, Grand Sumo is out of Tokyo, Japan. They got freaking, what do they got going on? I think it started on May 10th, and it wraps up on the 25th. It's 15 days. These dudes have one fight every day. And you got to understand, like, sumo is known as honbashu in Japanese. And it's the official professional sumo wrestling competition, Grand Sumo, is in Japan. It's organized by the Sumo Association. It's considered like the pinnacle of the sport. And, they have these tournaments like sumo wrestling for Grand Sumo. They have 6 times a year, 15 days. Wrestlers compete daily in matches. And the way it works is a ranking system. And kind of more or less, you got to win a majority of your matches to secure a promotion to move up to eventually fight for the championship. Having said that, it does seem like there's a lot of tradition, and it can be very hard to move up in sumo wrestling, right? And we know the rules. Look, man, you can't put any part of your body on the ground except your feet, and you can't get pushed out of the circle. It's almost like the very first game you play as a kid, and nobody even has to teach you the rules. You just kind of know that those are the rules. Sumo's deep in Japan. We're talking like 1,500 years. This has been going on. So it's a national sport. It embodies like the traditional values, the rituals, the Shinto beliefs. It's like a living heritage. and identity. But it is funny that they're super freaking fat because most Japanese folks are not that large. However, these guys are stud athletes. Like when it comes to wrestling and getting pushed around and pushing somebody around, these guys are like super good. I wonder why you never have sumo in like as a lineman in the NFL because they got a lot of good handwork, man. They're like they know how to push and shove and slip and do run bys and throw bys. Like I would think that would be like tailor made for a sumo. It could be that they're just too damn slow. Like that really could be it. They're just not fast enough. And now, can you imagine a sumo as a kid? All right, so let's jump over to our highlights. I think we're gonna start with Rousey Carano, just because it's like a quick win, right? We can just get through that one pretty fast, I think, since it's not very long of a fight. Let me cue this bad boy up. Give me 1 second, and let's bring it in here. Let's do this. All right. So we got Rousey, Gina Carano up on the screen here, and let's give this 1 second. I think Peterson's setting down. Here we go. We got 5 rounds. And let me run it back. It's so fast, even YouTube can't play it, right? Okay, here we go. I don't even understand what's happening. We got to even. I got to take this back more. It's like this is the highlight. It's what they call the takedown. It's insane, right? Oh, it's over. You just hear the sound. Oh, it's bad. Just smash everything on. That fast. That fast. And then all hugs and smiles. We got that one out of the way. Heck yeah. I was put that back. Man, they got shot behind there. Pause it for a little. Okay, here we go. This is the worst. It's hard. Straight to it. Not good for Rousey, man. I mean, for Carano. Let's check out some of the comments, man. I love the comments. Full highlights is crazy. Yeah, like there are no full highlights. This could have been an email. They're both smiling and looking at how easy the money was without getting hurt. Yeah, never thought I'd watch a full fight in a YouTube short. They hugged long, then they fought. That's actually pretty good. They did hug. They did hug longer than they fought, which is kind of insane when you think about it. Like it is kind of nutty, but I guess that's what it is. I guess that's where we're at, and I think my stream is all chopped up, man. I don't know. I can't tell. Let's see. Let me get to the current. I'm gonna check it out on Kick just to see where we're at. Yeah, I guess it's okay. It's pretty slow though. So yeah, I mean, what a not great highlight reel. So fast, just over. All right, let me pull up Diaz Perry. See if that one's like any better. It might be a little bit better. Let's check out Diaz Perry. A few things happened in Diaz Perry. Like, look, congrats to Rousey. They some of the first to do this, and they got paid. And you know what? They got paid because they deserved it, and I'm glad they got paid. But they didn't get paid Saturday night, May 16th. They got paid for that. They got paid for something from way a long time ago when fighting back then and not getting paid the same. That's what they got paid for Saturday night. It was what they already had done, not what they were about to do. What they were about to do was right. All right, let's pull up Diaz and Perry here. Let's see if this stream maybe would be a little cleaner. All right, we're gonna get it loaded Maybe we can like kill a resolution a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna clip the quality down a little bit. Put it like 70. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so Diaz was doing a lot of offense holding and kicking, which I thought was kind of cool. Perry came out rough. You know, he was like, look, just knee. Oh man, let's go back to that. Oh, how do you go? What brothers is they've always had like a decent Uchimata Hariyoshi throw. Always been pretty good at that. So check this throw out, man. Check this throw out that needed. It's too bad that he had an overhook, not an underhook. Watch this. Oh, you know, that was almost with like a Seonagi. That was like a modified Seonagi. That was slick. And I watched that one more time. Let's go back. Modified Seonagi. What a he is in the headlock. Which is like not helpful, man. One more time. So he freaking he took shots and hit it. I just think it's awful. And now Perry comes up. He's wrestling, but Perry couldn't put it away. Right? Nice shot on Diaz. There was a couple of times when it looked like he kind of hurt Diaz, but he did it. And again, you know, Diaz issued 16 jabs, break your face open. We did see a lot of that. Good jab from Nate. Took a minute to kind of find it. He did find it. What else was in this fight? Let's see. Oh, nice elbow. Perry's like a violent person. And somebody made an argument, which I think is like a good argument. Perry arguably has the best career post UFC. You know, that a lot of guys do. And like, if you think about it, he's doing pretty well post UFC. Like, he's actually crushing it. He's, you know, making money. He's had big fights. He's had a lot of stuff go his way. So, I mean, good on him in that regard. Good on him. Because the more guys that can go out there and make money, showing that like you can do different types of combat things. It doesn't have to be a UFC. It can be bare knuckle. It can be feature fights. There's ways to get paid if you know how to promote yourself. And if you're a good athlete, you're good with your business. I know it sounds crazy about someone like Perry, but you know, what are you doing? And I shot Nick with the right hand. Just dropped. Just bleeding everywhere. Bleeding everywhere in this fight. Oh, God, what a knee. He took that knee so hard, man. The ref's going to stop it. As soon as the ref looked at that, he's like, man, there's no way we're going to do this. There's no possible way that this is going to go out. Like, I'm not going to let this happen, right? So that's that. I wanted Nick Diaz to win. But, you know, Mike Perry's tough. He's younger. He's got, you know, more recent activity than Nate does. So he's just crushing it. Oh, no, it's choppy. My wife texted me. She said, we're trying to watch your stream. Great. Everybody's watching my live stream and it's choppy. Tell me this, though. Is the audio choppy or is it just I'm showing the videos up on the screen? Because that's what I need to know. So send me another message, Stella. Subscribe on Kick. That's what I need you to do. Okay, let me pull up or I'm sorry, the Carano fights. This is I don't even know why these guys fight. Let's see what she says. Your stream audio and video are bad. Oh no, that sucks. That's a bummer. Okay. Well, I'm trying to dial this in, right? Unfortunately, the tools are like not as great as they could be, and I hate to be that guy, but they have been super great and like experiencing a lot of choppiness and like bumped up just running really well. It looks like I got high CD. Let's enable performance mode. I do have it enabled. So there. So what about that? So what do you think about that? I'm just going to burn through this anyway, and then we'll see what happens. So okay, so new and this fight was just like not a great fight, to be honest. And you know, the problem is like I do that he's a lot better than honestly. You know, this fight just turned into like a tragedy, and just, you know, just murk up the guy. I think this highlight ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. This is driving me crazy. I'm gonna literally lose my mind if I can't make this work. I'm gonna come downstairs and I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna yell at everyone in the house. I'm gonna blame the kids that they're live streaming when I'm trying to do my live stream. I'm gonna break dishes. I'm gonna live stream me breaking the dishes and see if I can get some views on that. Yeah, this is all choppy and out of its mind, man. But I'm gonna take a break and get back to this to try to sort out what's going on because this is no good. All right, I'll catch you next time inside BJJ.